A lot of vaults in the Fallout universe are creepy, but if we're talking pure psychological horror, Vault 11 might be the scariest of them all, because it doesn't just show you monsters, it shows you people. When you first step inside, it looks like another dead vault, dust everywhere, terminals flickering, skeletons scattered in hallways and offices. But as you start exploring, you realize something is very wrong. There are posters about elections, slogans plastered on the walls, and notes that sound more desperate than political. Through recordings and terminal entries, you piece together the story. Vault 11's social experiment forced the residents to hold an election every year, and whoever won wasn't rewarded. They were sent to the sacrificial chamber as a tribute, supposedly to keep everyone else alive. Imagine the horror of that rule sinking in. At first, people resist, but fear makes them rationalize it. If we don't choose someone, we all die. So campaigns turn ugly, and elections become a twisted game of survival, where you try not to be liked, not to be noble, but to be just awful enough that no one will vote for you. Over time, Vault 11 turns into a democracy of cruelty. Blackmail, slander, and even violence become normal, as long as it keeps you off the ballot. The Overseer isn't an all-controlling tyrant this time. The system itself is the tyrant, and everyone buys into it because they think there's no other choice. The real nightmare hits when a small group finally decides to resist. They refuse to send another person to die and walk together into the sacrificial chamber, prepared to face whatever punishment the Vault has in store for breaking the rules. And then the twist? A recording plays, revealing that the entire experiment was a moral test. The system was designed to see if the dwellers would eventually refuse to sacrifice anyone at all. If they chose compassion and solidarity, the punishment would have been freedom. The vault would have opened. Everyone would have survived. Instead, for years, the residents elected someone to die over and over just to protect themselves. When they finally learn the truth, it's too late. The people who didn't go into the chamber, the ones who stayed behind, are so crushed by guilt and horror that they turn on each other. By the time you arrive in Fallout New Vegas, all that's left are echoes of their decisions, their bodies, and that final bitter message waiting in the sacrificial room. Vault 11 is terrifying not because of mutated creatures or killer robots, but because the monster is the system, and the way ordinary people bent themselves to it. It forces you to ask what you would have done, whether you'd be brave enough to stand against the rules, or if you'd convince yourself that sacrificing one person was acceptable to save many. In a world full of radioactive horrors, Vault 11 stands out as the scariest vault because it proves the wasteland didn't just destroy humanity from the outside. Sometimes, it was the fear inside the vault door that did the job.